These are lessons 3.3 and 3.4. But first, the comprehension check for the George Dawson reading. Number 1. George Dawson was born a slave. That's false. Number 2. Richard Glaubman wrote a book about Dawson. That's true. Number 3. Dawson learned to enjoy life from his father. That's true. Lesson 3.3 is on the past of be. The past of the verb be has two forms, was and were. For I, he, she, and it, we use was. For we, you, and they, we use were. Let's look at two examples. Dawson was from a poor family. His grandparents were slaves. In our first example, we use the form was because Dawson is singular. His grandparents were slaves. We use the form were because were is plural, and it goes with they, his grandparents. After their, we use was or were, depending on the noun that follows. We use was with a singular noun, and we use were with a plural noun. Example, there was an article about Dawson in the newspaper. There were many changes in his lifetime. In our first example, we use was because article is singular. In our second example, we use were because changes is plural. To make a statement negative or a negative statement, we put not after was or were. So was not or were not. And the contraction for was not is wasn't, and for were not is weren't. Our first example, Dawson's life wasn't easy, or Dawson's life was not easy. We say was not because life is singular. Education and books weren't available to him as a child. Education and books is plural, so we use were not or weren't. We use a form of be with born. Dawson was born in 1898. The form of be was goes with Dawson since Dawson is he and singular. He was born in 1898. We use a form of be with able to. Dawson was able to live a happy life. Let's look at 3.4. Three point four is on the simple past of regular verbs. Dawson signed his name with an X. He learned a lot from his father. Dawson accomplished his goal. In the first example, signed, the base form is sign, and we add an ed for the past form. In our second example, learned, the base form is learn, and we add an ed for the past form. And in our third example, accomplished, the base form is accomplish, and we add an ed to form the past.